Hello everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, I decided that I wanted to do one of my card kits, and so I pulled out the Simple Stories. This is the linen, hold on, yep, vintage linen market uh, card kit. I was trying to find it on the website. I could not find it. She might have taken it down if she had it like at one of her live events or in-person events. So, but there's plenty of Simple Story card kits available at my little scrapbook store. But you get all these different sheets. You get instructions. You get all the different pieces that you need to create basically your card fronts. There's no cutting necessary. Everything just kind of punches out, and the cards come already pre-scored. So all you have to do is fold those over. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and fold over my two card bases. Now, I will suggest, and I've always suggested if you've seen these when I've done them in the past, is if you do not like the weight of this cardstock and you have heavier weight, feel free to create your own card bases. You know what I mean? These are your standard cards, which is for America, the A4. So if you have your cardstock at home and it's a heavier weight, go ahead and use it. All right. So now to get started on this, I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. And I always like to fold mine in half. So that way I'm just focusing on the first two card fronts. So I'm going to go ahead and start pulling the base paper. And I will say normally these do cover the entire front of the card. I have found that with these, for some reason, there's just a little bit of a white border. They're not going completely edge to edge. So I do find myself, I had to kind of maneuver the base paper, but otherwise, these are so easy to put together, and you just go through it step by step. They tell you what to pull. These are chipboards, and what I love about this chipboard is it's not very thick. It's just, it has a little bit of thickness just to give you a little bit of a different level from like the ephemera piece, if that makes sense. So the jar of lemonade is a thin, almost like ephemera piece, but the lemons themselves are chipboard, so they have a little bit of dimension. And the other thing, I know I don't always use pop dots or foam squares and stuff like that on my renditions of the cards, but you can add layers, you can lift things up, pop things up. There doesn't have to always be a flat thing. You can also add things to it, sequins, gems. We're gonna wind up adding enamel dots to it, so, and you'll see how we'll create them in a second. So let's start pulling the next one. I was going to wait, but then I was like, you know what? Let's just pull out what we need for this one. So that way everything is done, everything is out, and we can just start gluing and putting everything together. So we got sunshine. And then I was reading too, on this one, there was a lot more chipboard pieces. So I have that, and then, we had to get the 3 butterflies, a small red, a large red, and a medium blue. So it's like that, and then the other red one is in my hands, so that one's gonna go right there. And then there's a phrase that I had to pull out, which is thinking of you, and that's gonna go on the bottom. And that's it on this one. Really simple. And what I love about these cards are the bright colors. I love the yellows, reds, and blues. It's such a fun color palette, you know? So whenever I put cards or my layouts together, I always do glue or tape and glue. I just find that I get a few seconds to be able to move something around before it's down permanently and then I can't move it. So You'll always see me using both. You don't have to use both if you don't want to, but I always suggest it because I want to know that it's going to be adhered down for sure, and I want to have that wiggle room to where I can move stuff around if I need to. All right. And now we just start doing the layers, And a lot of times I'm doing this just by looking at the photo, that little photo that's on the paper. If you have trouble seeing that, I would just take a picture with your phone. That way you can enlarge it so you can see it better. And then I just lay it to where I like the way it looks, and that it looks more like what I'm seeing in the photo. And so for me, it was that way, and making sure that the leaves part with the lemons was more up towards, pointing towards the top. I like that particular version or that way for me. All right. And then once we had the lemons down, I'm going to go ahead and I think, do I put the on the back of sweet? Yes, I think right now what I'm looking for is some foam, because I hate when I do that. Okay, sorry y'all. I just realized I was talking. Okay, so you caught me. Over the past weekend, we had a Zoom room, and I was recording while in the Zoom room, and then I thought I took all the extra stuff out, and I guess I hadn't. So that's why my hands are folded. That's why it's taking a little bit of time before I go back to continue what I was doing. I do apologize for that. But if you're a member of my little scrapbook store, once a month we have the Zoom rooms where we get together, we hang out, we craft. Some clean their craft room, some just sit and hang out with us. It all depends, whatever works best for you. Okay, I know, like for me, I partly started cleaning up, and then I was so over it, so I started making these videos, and here we are. So just a little bit of glue. I did not use the foam on this one, but that's okay. So a little bit of glue, and then we just lay everything down. And then now we're going to, I think that's everything on that one. So I'm going to move that to the side, okay. So I have this clear block that I got from my little scrapbook store that I put down on my cards to help the glue adhere. You'll see me use it from time to time, even on my layouts, if something I need to just have a little bit of weight on it to make sure, the glue dries and everything is good. I do that a lot with that block. Okay, so now we're going to put together the second card. And the fun part, I think, with these is that this is the stuff that I do when the creativity just isn't there, right? It's already designed. It's already figured out. There's nothing that I have to overthink about. I can just put it together, and when I'm done, I have a really cute card, So for me, I that's why I like going to these. And when I was straightening up, or cleaning up, I should say, I found this, and I was like, hey, you had pulled this out to do a video, and you never did. I'm thinking to myself, so I was like, let's do it now while we're cleaning up. So, lucky us, we have this video now. And then next week, we'll do our next 2 cards, and so on and so forth. So for the next few Fridays, we'll be working on this kit. All right, now we're going to lay down our butterflies. And with the butterflies, even though they're chipboard, if you wanted to just put a little bit of glue in the center and lift up the wings, kind of manipulate the chipboard, you could try and do that. You can use foam to pop it up. Whatever works for you. Now, in my opinion, in some of these, if you're trying to send them through the mail, I wouldn't use a lot of foam, because I would just use the chipboard as it is. Because like I said, it's not too thick, so it's not going to change the amount of stamps you need. But if you keep adding different layers and foam and stuff like that, it could make it where you might have to pay extra on shipping. Okay. All right. So there's our 2 cards. And so I pulled out my my black enamel dots. Well, my black Nuvo drops, I should say, from Nuvo, and I'm looking for my little spatula to kind of pick it up because I realized I didn't test this before I started going straight to project. Bold move, to say the least. If you have not used your Nuvo drops in a while, please do some tester first, because it'll never fail. You'll get a little like a booger that comes out. That's the only way I can describe it. It's a booger. It's like a little like clump that comes out, and it'll make a real mess on your project. And you're not trying to make a mess on the project. You want it to look nice. So do use a tester first. Is a scrap piece of paper, and then call it a day. You'll thank me for it later. All right. And then I always take my cards and I really slap the heck out of it on the desk, because when I do that, it flattens out the Nuvo drop and it looks like an enamel dot. That's how you get it to look like that. So if you do your circle, don't worry if it's not perfect. Just tap, 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 and it'll flatten out and look just like an enamel dot. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I didn't get a chance to take photos of these 2 cards. That's why I'm just using this photo here. But I will see you guys next week with our next set of cards. And I hope you have a great weekend. Thanks, you guys.